Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 4th of January. 5 more Rohingyas deported to Myanmar from India. Afghan poll body begins registration of presidential candidates. And Nepal Cabinet forms panel to probe disputed aircraft purchase. And now for all the details. Indian authorities on Thursday deported 5 members of a Rohingya family to Myanmar who had been in custody since 2014 for entering India's northeast without proper documents, part of a federal government crackdown on illegal immigration. This came 3 months after 7 others were handed over to the authorities of the neighbouring country.
Indian authorities on Thursday deported 5 Rohingya Muslims to Myanmar who had been in custody since 2014 for entering India's northeast without proper papers, part of a federal government crackdown on illegal immigration. The Rohingyas, 3 men and 2 women, were transferred to Myanmar authorities at the Moreh crossing point, which sits along the border between the two countries in India's northeastern Manipur province. The 5 were the second small batch of stateless Rohingya to be expelled back to Myanmar by India during the past few months for alleged immigration violations. India has not yet carried out any large-scale deportations, but in October 2018, the Indian government began gathering biometric data from Rohingya to verify whether they had UN refugee status, authorities said. In October last year, India had sent back to Myanmar another 7 Rohingya who had been caught on the Indian side of the border in 2012. They were also deported via the Moreh crossing in Manipur.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's Independent Election Commission on Thursday officially started the registration process of presidential election. The election, which was earlier supposed to be held on April 20th, is now scheduled for July 20th this year.
Afghanistan's Independent Election Commission or IEC on Thursday officially started the registration process for the presidential election. Abdul Latif Pedram was the first presidential candidate to file nomination papers on Thursday alongside his vice president nominees to run in the July 20th presidential elections. While expressing skepticism about the capacity of the election management body to hold the elections, he called for systematic reforms to be put in place in the election commission.
بدون شک برای فدرال کردن افغانستان مبارزه خواهم کرد و این اساسی ترین برنامه من است و بعد تنظیم روابط خوب با کشورهای منطقه من جمله با پاکستان.
This comes after IEC chairman Abdul Bari Sayyed on Sunday said the poll body had decided to hold the country's presidential election on July 20th this year. IEC officials said up to 73 people have so far received the presidential election information packages, including incumbent President Ashraf Ghani and Chief Executive Officer Abdullah.
More on news from Afghanistan. Afghanistan's High Peace Council has said nothing will come out of government's peace efforts if it seeks peace with its present 12-member peace negotiating team. The remarks by the council came on Thursday, a day after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani's special envoy on peace announced that he will visit Pakistan in the near future to discuss consensus around peace at regional level.
Officials from Afghanistan's High Peace Council or HPC on Thursday said that nothing will come out of government's peace efforts if it seeks peace with the present 12-member peace negotiating team. This comes a day after Mohammad Umar Daudzai, President Ashraf Ghani's special envoy for regional affairs on consensus about peace and HPC Secretariat head, announced that he will visit Pakistan in the near future to discuss peace consensus at regional level. Addressing a ceremony of HPC members and civil society representatives in Kabul, Daudzai said that 2019 is the year of peace for Afghanistan.
چې کم تر کمه په دې وپوهیږي چې د مقابل لوري سره څه ووایي او څنګه وکړی شي چې سولې ته د رسیدو لاره هواره کړي.
The High Peace Council has also called on the government for qualified and experienced people to deal the peace negotiating team this time. Government officials have not yet commented on the issue.
In news from Nepal, alleged mastermind of the Kapoor carnage during the Madhesi movement in Nepal, Resham Chaudhary, was sworn in as Member of Parliament on Thursday after being brought to the Secretariat from jail. Despite the swearing in as a lawmaker, Chaudhary cannot assume any responsibility or receive benefits as a parliamentarian until he is cleared of the charges against him.
Alleged mastermind of the Kapoor carnage during the Madhesi movement in Nepal, Resham Chaudhary was sworn in as the Member of the Parliament on Thursday after being brought to the Secretariat from jail. Chaudhary was directly elected lawmaker from Constituency 1 of Kelali district in the parliamentary elections held in 2017. And accused in the 2015 Kapoor riots, Chaudhary is facing charges of murder and robbery along with 56 others. He went absconding following the incident and had surrendered himself 7 days before the members of House of Representatives had their swearing in. Despite the swearing in, Chaudhary cannot assume any responsibility or receive benefits as a parliamentarian until he is cleared of the charges against him.
न्यायालयले हामीलाई न्याय दिनेछ र न्याय दिनु पर्दछ र अझै पनि म भन्दछु कि स्पष्ट छानबिन गहन छानबिन हुनु पर्दछ दोषीले कारबाहीको भागीदार हुनै पर्दछ दोषी उम्किनु पर्छ मैले कहिले भने र हामीले कहिले भन्यौ दोषी उम्किनै हुनु हुँदैन
Chaudhary's swearing in came 2 weeks after his Rashtriya Janata Party Nepal or RJPN threatened to withdraw their support to Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli if their demands including Chaudhary's swearing in were not addressed urgently. The RJPN party has also been making the release of Chaudhary as the term for their support to the Oli-led Nepal government along with their existing demand of constitution amendment.
More on news from Nepal. Nepal has formed a high-level commission to probe the controversial procurement of 2 wide-body Airbus planes by the Nepal Airlines Corporation. A cabinet meeting on Thursday decided to form the 3-member commission after a parliamentary subcommittee revealed that losses worth 4.35 billion Nepali rupees were caused to the government during the purchase.
Nepal government has formed a high-level commission to probe the controversial procurement of 2 wide-body Airbus planes by the Nepal Airlines Corporation or NAC. A cabinet meeting in the Himalayan nation on Thursday decided to form the 3-member commission after a subcommittee of the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee or PAC concluded that purchase of the 2 A330 jets by the NSA chiffoned 4.35 billion Nepali rupees from the state coffers. The commission has got 45 days to come up with a report. A House panel report under PAC has also found Rabindra Adhikari, the incumbent Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, involved in irregularities during the purchase of the 2 aircrafts. Along with Adhikari, the report also had redirected for actions against the 2 former ministers, Jitendra Narayan Dev and Jeevan Bahadur Shahi, for their involvement. Nepal made the decision for purchasing the 2 aircrafts in 2015. The national flag carrier purchased the planes from US-based AAR Corp for $209 million, the largest ever aircraft purchase deal in Nepal's aviation history.
A cultural event enthralled scores of tourists recently in resort town of Gulmarg in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Hundreds of tourists during winters visit Gulmarg, which is a popular destination for winter sports activities such as snowboarding, sledge rides and skiing.
With an objective of entertaining the tourists and exposing them to the rich cultural heritage of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province, a cultural event was recently organized in its resort town of Gulmarg. The tourists who thronged the town to celebrate New Year and enjoy a fresh spell of snowfall were enthralled by the folk songs, skits and Sufi music presented by local artists of the province. The event, organized by the Department of Tourism, aimed at attracting more and more tourists towards the picturesque town of Gulmarg.
दोस्त टूरिस्ट आए हैं डिफरेंट जगहों से छोटे बच्चे उनको जब अपनी नेचुरल ब्यूटी के साथ साथ कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ भी दिखाए उनके साथ एंथ्राल भी करें बिकॉज ऑफ द म्यूज़िक बिकॉज ऑफ by virtue of music, by virtue of songs and other things, skits and basically skits, they are presenting the real picture of the valley, real picture of the area.
Well, it has been beautiful. So we have been there for 3 days now. और हम कहीं और नहीं गए हैं. एक हमने गंडोला पास किया था. We went to phase 1, phase 2. तो that was again amazing. यहाँ पे काफ़ी adventurous activities होती हैं, which is again a magnet for the tourists.
Gulmarg is a popular destination for winter sports activities such as snowboarding, skating, sledge rides, cable car rides and skiing. Tourists from the hot Indian plains are thrilled to see the snowfall, some of them experiencing it for the first time. Of course, a lifetime experience for them.
Scores of people from across India congregated at a famous monastery in northern Leh city to celebrate a 2-day monastic festival on Thursday. The festival, celebrated annually, aims at promoting peace and prosperity.
Thousands of people from across the country congregated at the famous Pitok Monastery in India's northern Leh city to witness colourful traditional dance performances and celebrate a 2-day monastic festival on Thursday. The Pitok Gastor festival saw masked dance performances by monks who spotted various veils, including that of religious deities and animals representing the guardians and protectors. The aim of the festival is to promote peace and prosperity.
ये तिब्बतन कैलेंडर के हिसाब से 11वें महीने के 28 और 29 के दिन हर साल मनाया जाता है. ये सर्दी के लद्दाख में सबसे पहला ये महोत्सव.
और मुझे इस फेस्टिवल के बारे में पता नहीं था, मुझे आज पता चला एंड मैं यहाँ आ गई हूँ एंड इट्स सो वर्थ इट. मतलब मेरे दोस्त जा चुके हैं मुझे छोड़कर, पर मेरा जाने का मन नहीं है. इट्स सो ब्यूटीफुल और इतना सही लग रहा है.
Monks of several monasteries gather at the Pitok Monastery every year to participate in the festival. The festival marks the victory of good over evil and ends with the symbolic termination of evils.
Tourists from around the globe have started arriving in India's Prayagraj city to attend the Kumbh Fair, the world's largest religious gathering, starting from January 15th. Foreign tourists usually attend the fair to experience the Indian culture and tradition.
Tourists from around the world have started arriving in India's Prayagraj city for the world's largest religious gathering, the Kumbh Fair or Picture Festival. 100 strong, the grand spiritual event which traditionally takes place every 3 years in one of 4 Indian cities of Prayagraj, Haridwar, Ujjain and Nasik. Foreign tourists usually attend the fair to observe and experience the Indian culture and tradition.
I got inspired because I got interested in meditation for stress release, but after some time when there's no stress anymore, you part with material possessions, you part with toxic relationships, and then there's nothing left. So you can use these practices to fill your day.
इनका इंटरेस्ट है हमारी संस्कृति को पूरी तरीके से जानना और सीखना, और जिस तरीके से सभी लोग स्नान करते हैं उस स्नान को देखकर और उसी तरीके से उसको करना.
Apart from the foreign tourists, scores of Hindu seers mounted on royal chariots and elephants are also arriving in the holy city of Prayagraj for the fair. The city is expected to host over 100 million people from all over the country and abroad during the event, which is said to begin on January 15th. The Kumbh Fair, which is more than 2,000 years old, is a meeting point for Hindu seers, some of who live in forest or Himalayan caves and come out only during this period.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.